Okay, and we're rolling. Welcome, YouTube viewers that are on the Pixel Loadout channel. I figured I'd try doing a recording of a playthrough of Dark Souls 2, or however far I manage to get into it. I do like to re-roll characters quite a bit. This is also kind of another sort of long, drawn-out test for Uplay Shadowplay stuff. Uplay, NVIDIA Shadowplay stuff. Yeah. And, the servers are up, and I'm awake, so I figure, hey, let's take an hour, do this.
Perhaps
one of the things
seen it. Maybe
that
in a dream.
Not enough, streamers, I feel like, talk about
Forgotten land.
is the intro. Well, so I'm going to probably shut up a little bit, but I do want to address it, because it's kind of like a big deal to me, or a big mystery when it's all said and done with the lore stuff, so... there's a lot of interesting implications. Or maybe we'll talk over it, I have no idea.
A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything. Once branded. The symbol of the curse. An augur of darkness.
That would
Your
be
past,
the dark
your
sign
future,
right there.
Your very light.
If you actually take off your clothes, when you're human, or even when you're undead, you can see it.
None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drangleic. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why.
No, she says decrepit. You can tell from the visual, too, that the age of the castle does not seem to match up with what you'll end up being encountering late in the game, which is an interesting discrepancy. The narrator there being one of the 4 firekeepers, fourth one that's not actually in the hut that we're going to go up to. You can also notice all the bones surrounding the trees, suggesting that lots of people have died at this location a while back. Or in the water. Visually, this seems very similar to
your wings will burn in anguish.
The DLC for the original Dark Souls,
after time,
Artorias of the Abyss.
For that is your fate, the fate of the cursed.
And this suggests to me that this is very similar in that manner of travel that you did. You pulled through time. Granted, with that one you were literally pulled through by Manus, and this one you seem to fall through more of your own volition, or maybe not even of your own volition, just because of that being part of the curse. Who knows? There's other things that I feel like a lot of people have pointed out that seem a little bit frustrating by comparison to other Souls game. Essentially that a trailer more or less canonizes you as being male, and I mean, like that's fine to me, I guess, but I feel like there should be a reason or implication as to why. I mean, what we see there seems to suggest a man who has forsaken his family to go pursue power. At least that's what I get out of it, is that he sort of almost embraces this curse, becoming something that's not human anymore, but very similar in the like thematically to Demon Souls. This thing of like gaining more and more power as being a sort of side effect of the curse that some may, you know, find to be positive. It's interesting to think about. Like they call it a curse, and eventually you will go hollow and completely mindless. But at the same time, you do essentially live forever if you play your cards right. Granted, it seems like you will constantly be on the quest to get more and more souls until you do go crazy. It's just kind of a fun sort of meta way of looking at it, is that the game never ends. It always goes to New Game Plus, and you'll get more and more souls until you get sick of the game, and that's when you abandon it. We have our 3 keepers here, 1 caretaker,
Seems to be the ruckus.
and a chair missing.
Oh,
Or the chair right there.
your face. The face of the curse. It's an undead. An undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you.
This feels very kind of like surface to me. There's
kind old dear, didn't you?
very little lore I feel like to get out of like this exchange here, other than that they acknowledge there's another sister.
You'll go
and that
hollow.
you did talk to her.
Yes, you'll become one of them. Hollows prey upon men, feast upon their souls.
It's like the only time I can think of in Dark, like any Souls game where you see lips move in engine.
What is your name?
I started thinking about what kind of build I'm gonna do. I decided that it's just probably gonna be Dex Faith. So that's the you have to click on the box. You can't just use a controller. It doesn't bring up a menu. So how about
At least you know your own name. Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
our replacement for humanity?
Take a closer look. Who do you think it's supposed to be? Think back, deep into your past.
So I wonder about the validity
Yes,
of this claim.
it's an effigy of you.
If it's actually an effigy of us, or if it's actually the persona of somebody else. Let's see. So class kind of matters a little bit more, despite the fact that I feel like than it has in other games. You can respec, but if you want your minimum stats to be reflected of stuff that you're actually going to use, you have to sort of keep that in mind. So I haven't started as a cleric yet. And gifts I feel like matter even less than they have in other games. I know a lot of hardcore players like to start out with the aesthetics for farming boss weapons and stuff like that. I'm just gonna go with like healing wares. It's fine. Well, it's fine. Physique's fine. Go to the face. Give me a good old beard. And then we go, what hair color? I'll say I'm not really gonna put too much effort into what my guy looks like because it'll all get buried under gear eventually anyways. So yes, we will finalize. Don't need no
All
shoes.
people come here for the same reason. To break the curse. You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance.
Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom.
But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You'll lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like the opening seems tailor-made to people who've played other Souls games and sort of revels in the fun of that, but kind of loses something, I feel like, by doing it. Yeah, we got all the DLC installed here. I can talk to Melbeth.
Fair traveller, why else would you visit such a place? This lost, decayed
There's not much to get from her. We seem to have Run, like, turned on for some reason as a caps lock thing? I don't know. So yeah, we can look at all the key binding stuff here that I get to do. Run, forward, left, right. Wonder why that is the case. Kinda strange to me. Whatever though. So let's see, yeah, you get the mace as a starting piece of equipment, which is fine. This is gonna actually bug me to no end now that I think about it. Just running all over the place as opposed to whatever. We're gonna try to make it work. What was I saying though? Yeah, so the DLC equipment is surprisingly stat heavy in terms of requirements, so I feel like it's a very limited use to all but a few specific builds. Like, this shield is great if you have to get the strength for it, I guess, because that's one, but I don't even have the stats to use a shield as a cleric to start with, like, because I gotta two-hand my weapon. I guess if I get the torch, that would be something. Is it set to tilt? No. I don't know. I'm probably going to do all the tutorial area. I'm going to do enough to unlock the ladder drop down for Snuggly. I will say, like, I bought this about, say, a month before the PC version came out on the 360. And that was fine, it was good. It was, you know, the best time to play the Soul series is on its release, because that's when the community knows the least about it. Though I feel like we know more about this game than we have any other in the series so far. It's just so much better on the PC, pretty much. There's very few complaints I have about what we got as, like, essentially the definitive version. And the online community is one of the advantages. Like, just, I have so many more successful invasions and PvP matches on the PC than I have had on Xbox Live, for whatever reason. So that's been nice. Another nice thing that I've definitely noticed, at least compared to the 360, your name seemed to have been chosen by your account on that, whereas names of characters when you invade show up. So that ends up being much more pertinent if you're doing, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah, this auto run is gonna kill me. I'm surprised it didn't just kill me right there. So let's go all the way back through. It's weird, it'll like bug out for a second there and then stop. Like I said, I'm gonna try to go through just about barreled off that cliff there. The first episode with this thing on because I don't want to pause, start over, and start recording. But at the same time, this is not acceptable for like combat and stuff. I've had this happen with another time too. I keep talking about this is this definitive version and all that jazz, and now I can't even figure out what the case is here with. Oh, auto walk, auto dash, so X. Ha! Okay, figured it out. I'm using a controller right now to play. I feel like that's the best way to play the Soul series. Stuff.
Give us more. Yes, you! Give us Silky!
And these are the crows this time around. They have their own item, and it's items, and they're all done via like random like what you put in does not necessitate what you get out as a certain thing. That annoys some people. I think it's kind of fun myself. Although when you are trying to get like that one crafting item stone, that will it can bug you. I understand. Yeah. But you know, sometimes you can start with a petrified something as a starting gift, and then you pretty much guaranteed to get some sort of weird weapon to start with. It could be the Chandler's Trident. I made a themed Simon Belmont character. What I was talking about before, like being able to name your theme character and then know that you're being invaded, you're PvPing against a theme character is cool. So I like that about the PC version a lot. Here's a hidden drop-off spot. A lot of people seem to miss. Get yourself a chime and a morning star. But the most important stuff, which I won't show off immediately, is the binoculars. If you are a caster of any kind, if you looked at the TGS stuff, which has a whole graphic thing we can talk about later, first-person aiming was a thing that was in earlier builds of the game for spell casting, which was a pretty huge deal, and then it seems like they ripped it out. But since binoculars are a weapon now, you can aim
the next
them.
monarch,
And here's the Emerald Herald.
or merely a pawn of fate, bearer of the curse. I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey. Go on and see the king. He who made Drangleic what it once was. He who peered at the essence of the soul. King Vendrick.
Way chattier than the Made in Black, but incredibly important story implications considering all the lore for the Dark Souls universe, so there's something there. There's a quick covenant up there you can go talk to. If you exhaust his dialogue, you'll get a ring with a little extra HP, and you can summon in protectors. Way less invasions in this game, though. Doesn't seem like they put in enough support, I feel like, for that. But there are a lot of other options for like PvP, which is nice in terms of just like having arenas, so I appreciate that. Epic Name Bro is probably one of the more famous Dark Souls streamers out there, and I agree with the sentiment that maybe the atmosphere and the lore may not have been as deep as it was in the original Dark Souls, or Demon Souls for that matter, but the online interactions and PvP, I've had some of the most fun doing it, so yeah. Let's see, we are going to go do Forest of Giants first. I think we're only going to go up to like one of the early bonfires mainly, so that we. I'm getting an Estus Flask shard. We're only going to do that so we can get some souls, put some stuff in the level, so I can stop two-handing this thing. Then we're going to go get some lightning spears. Probably my most vocal complaint I have about the PC version is dialogue boxes and stuff popping up, like pausing here, for example. The mouse, even if you use a controller, pops up in the middle here in the center every time, and it's pretty annoying. I know with fraps, apparently you can get rid of that, which is nice. I am using, like I said, NVIDIA Shadow Play because, hey, it's on the card and it works really well in terms of system requirements. Technically, Dark Souls is not even like on the supported list for it since it's still in beta, but from what the footage I have captured so far in terms of test, it seems to be working fine. The microphone capture software, though, puts a weird buzzing in the background, so I'm actually doing all that through Audacity, and I'm going to overlay it later. This is all live commentary, which is why it's a little bit stilted, and sort of me off the cuff right now. Hopefully, I think the quality is going to be better than going just through Shadow Play Zone then. So, yeah. Down here, you can get, I think it's Humanity, or not, an effigy, first time. And you could attempt to jump that, but there's another alternate way to get it, so that's what I would suggest doing. It's really weird, just running around with bare feet like this. You should get some armor. It's kind of a shame that they don't start you off with the, like, you know, the Templar Knight, like, pre-made character that was on other demo stuff. Looks really cool, and those do pop up later as the Lindelt clerics, I want to say. So you can get their stuff, like you essentially have one of their pieces of gear, but yeah, otherwise you just, I don't know, start with a heal spell. That's cool. Mace, though, as a starting weapon, is also pretty cool. Strike weapons in the early game are super, super, super good, especially if you start going to do the, what do you call it, the Hyde's Tower of Flame. With all those knights there, you're going to get some extra damage by using one of these weapons as opposed to a sword. So if people are having trouble over there, I highly suggest getting your hands on a mace or a glove and using that. That will definitely take some of the frustration out. And they're not too hard to get either. Like, this character obviously starts with one, and I feel like the mace is pretty good. The club is probably better. I did not equip my Estus Flask, just because of the A scaling and strength, and I think it has a better move set. I did not cash in that flask either. I'm really bad at this game. But yeah, if you just get up to the first bonfire here, you get the key to the blacksmith. Blacksmith will sell you the strike weapons, and my first playthrough of the game, I actually mainly played with what I'm using right here. It's got, what is it? I think it's a B in strength and an E, yeah, in dexterity. So pretty good scaling. The moveset is, like I said, it doesn't have as much of a long striking arc compared to like the short sword, long sword of the club. I'm pretty sure he uses the same sort of like moveset, which is like kind of a blessing and a curse. Like, it's mainly a matter of preference. This short fight style here is really good for close corridors. You don't have to worry about your weapon bouncing off, but obviously does not have as big an arc. So I got used to this moveset myself and ended up liking it a lot. It would probably be worth coming back to get this guy later. I'm not gonna mess with him now. He does drop a pretty good early starting sword, but he is not the easiest thing to fight in the world. He has some pretty unique like wake-up attacks, which you do not see on almost any other like enemy type, and they will just mess you up if you're not careful. So, like I said, my main goal right now is just to get to the first bonfire and go from there. Regular route stuff here. I know there's like a few items up here. I can get rid of that sniper. If you start out with an explorer, and that actually was my first character class I started with, this is kind of important up here because you would have to have done the tutorial to get your hands on, I guess, a second dagger if you wanted, but this will get you a short sword. So that is pretty critical if you start with that class, I feel like, or even a deprived. Also, that drop down will save you some time. Yeah, and that's one of those things right there that you get out of the Soul series. You start to recognize like traps and stuff, like those corpses on the ground, or that rolling through here is kind of like suicide. So it's kind of cool to get mastery out of a game. It definitely gets easier the more you know. And then the fun becomes like experimenting within the game systems. And I feel like I've tried a multitude of different like starting character experiences. I feel like the Dual Swordsman by far is the worst of the bunch, which is pretty accurate as I recall from people like I said, Epic Name Bro and a German Spy. They've talked about the starting classes. Knight is probably the easiest, but Dual Swordsman's like upgraded Scimitar. That's all fine and dandy, but it's like you can't even power stance them, which is what I thought like the point of starting with those classes' stats was going to be. So that's kind of just like too bad, I guess, but whatever. I'm making judicious use of that heal since I forgot the Estus Flask. Yeah, like, it's nice. This guy's not taking too much damage, which is cool. And the weapon, like I said, seems good. This seems like a pretty good, easy sort of starting class for some people. And once again, like I said before, the starting gifts matter so much less in this game than they have in any other game. It's not auto pickup master key like everything else, so if it's your first time, I absolutely recommend the healing wares. Like, just go for it. Like, being able to use life gems and stuff like that without having to worry about running out at the beginning. And you can eventually find ways to pick up infinite, essentially, near the end, like, is good, just for frustration and all that stuff. If you got a plan for a bonfire aesthetic, then absolutely pick up one of those. If you're going for a theme build and you need one of those petrified somethings, go for it. If you want to reverse griefing, even though it's kind of hard to, like I said, not nearly as many invasions in the early game, go for that Seed of the Tree of the Giant. So yeah, here's our bonfire. Here's Malintia. Ooh, it's awesome.
Something, anything. Oh, come now, help an old woman and buy something.
She has got one wicked claw going on over there, along with some sort of dark magic or just being genuinely unclean. Always recommend the merchant hat if you are not an explorer, because that item discovery rate up is going to help you out a lot. Get a firebomb to open up a shortcut later, and eventually get that key for Lenigrast. Oh, and she also sells a club, which is nice, so yeah.
My name is Malintia.
This is what I'm talking about, the mouse.
You're a stranger to this land. Oh, we get as strangers these days. Everybody's gone and run off. Dranglake's been a pile of rubble since the war fought long, long ago. When the giants crossed the sea.
Pretty big story drop there. Yeah, giants obviously play a big role in the game, and it seems pretty subtle, the way that she just talks about it. And community's still piecing together parts of the story.
Seemed like the battles would never end. Poor folk like myself had nary a place to sleep. That's why I keep all me things right with me. You may travel light, but methinks you bear a burden of your own.
So there's some implied guilt there that sort of like Malintia comments on, as if we're like running from something. And once again, that's like an interesting part of the story that nobody seems to be talking about, is what is this character's backstory as the cursed undead.
They say these trees grew from the remains of the giants. From each carcass sprouted new life growing into what you see now. But you know what they also say? Don't believe what an old hag says.
Love that.
It's high time that I pick up and move. I've a bargain for you next time we meet our lover.
It's important to exhaust her dialogue, because that is one of the requirements to get her to eventually move to Majula. The other one is to take out the boss in the area, which we'll deal with later. One of the best, like, early kind of secrets thing, needs a key to open up, but also the door is smashed, so if you smash it, you can get in. And there's some really, like, important items in here, I feel like. Small Leather Shield is a super, super good early shield for people. Highly recommend it a lot. It's weird that people are putting their summon signs in here. And then this is an Estus Flask Shard and the Small White Soapstone, I believe. Yeah, so this is going to be like your earliest thing for getting summons, and is arguably superior way to get summoned. Getting summoned and completing your task will restore humanity now, which is nice. So no, I'm gonna go try to open up the shortcut. I don't know how much success I'm gonna have. I'm gonna get hit while I'm doing this too. Nah, I should go back. I need to go trade in that shard. Using the Small White Soapstone to get summoned, as opposed to the large one, which we will get either in this video or the next one, will give you a small and smooth silky stone, which can be used to trade with crows to get you ore, which can be pretty damn useful in the early game. If you're going to PvP a lot and you need the tokens of fidelity for the Covenant of Blue, then that totally gets you. Or if you need the sunlight metals, that's another thing too, totally worth considering. But if you want to upgrade your weapons,
Bearer of the curse, seek misery, for misery will lead you to greater, stronger souls. You will never meet the king with a soul so frail and pallid.
What you trying to say about my soul? She's a talky one.
Seek those whose names are unutterable. The four endowed with immense souls. Their souls will serve as beacons. Once you have found them, return here to me, so that hope will not fade away. Is that a shard you found?
Finally.
Here, let me see it, so that I may help you to see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
So yeah, this is how you get more Estus Flasks. And we doing that twice now? Yeah, cool. So let's see, what else do we got here? So both of these shields actually are... Okay, the small leather shield actually not as good as I thought. I was thinking of the large leather shield, which you get later.
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and well, I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
Are there any cheap enough pants to buy? You want to invest some souls with Mullen.
I do hope I see you again.
So, I'm pretty sure I must have picked up some to use, yeah. 1200 is what we're looking for? Okay. If you have no strength, Silver Eagle Kite Shield, super worth it to buy, has a, what is it, a 90 over here, damage reduction, which is pretty good for early game stuff. We're gonna get these Falconer boots because I am paranoid about running around without pants on.
Thanks very much. And do please come again.
Definitely invest some souls with him though, because he will open up his stock later and get some pretty good armors. Totally forgot I had imported trousers. I have no... What are my stats like actually has? I have 11th strength, so I just need one more point of strength to be able to do things proper. I imagine the first point can't be more than 1200.
Bearer of the curse, seek soul, seek the king. That is the only way. Lest
I really
this
wish
land
there was
swallow you.
a way to skip past all that a little faster. Like, yeah, so level up. Yeah, there we go. And that'll make things quite a bit easier. And you would, if you had done like the full tutorial, like I did not. You would probably have enough to be able to do that as your, like, us a level up pretty early on. Yeah, there we go. Dapper looking fellow. So yeah, we're gonna take a break from doing the Forest of Fallen Giants. I'm gonna go do a little bit this area instead. Not a completely obvious area for some new players, I will admit. I feel like they could have done a better job to emphasize the switches on the walls that open up the floodgates. But if you're online, the messages on the ground will do a good job of telling you, hurrah for shield. Yeah, this is, if you need a shield without having to spend souls, this is a great early place to go to. Just get that Crimson Parma. Pretty sure it's like 75 damage reduction, which is pretty good. The shield that you get from the pre-order stuff, this spike thing, it's 90 in reduction, but it only has like 30 durability. So I guess if you're blocking a ton, it'll get broken, but it's probably the best part, I'd say, of the homunculus mace. The transgressor staff actually is pretty good too if you're a dark caster. But really, it's like, it saves you maybe one trip of farming, I suppose. They're not huge, awesome advantages. They're just little nice convenience things, I guess. These guys not too hard to fight. As soon as you let them do their thing. As you can see, like, mace does a good job right there. Don't have to sit at the fire, but at least to activate the damn thing, because you don't want to have to go through that entire walk again. And if you're having trouble with the early game, taking out this guy is highly recommended. Oh, I got smashed. Okay. Get that Sublime Bone Dust, that will let your Estus Flasks get upgrade to +1, and that will help you out a ton in terms of, like, oh, maybe not a ton, but, you know, give you a little bit more healing, and that's always good. Shield guys are probably the easiest of the bunch here. Once again, messages really help out a lot. You may hear the sound effect, you may not. You may miss the switch though if you're hasty, and this is what makes either a very early boss either super easy or super difficult. So make sure you hit those switches. They do a good job of presenting that in areas that should make you understand what you're doing, like, though you may not know why, because you're also sort of blocked from seeing the boss over there. Kind of get him right there. I've heard stories about people being able to snipe him from that area there as a way to like either whittle down the south or just take him out completely. I've not tried it myself. I don't know how true that is. Though it does bring a point that range stuff is important for characters in this game. I feel like more than it's been in other Souls games. I'm not saying you can't do a pure melee like run through. I'm just saying it's going to be a lot harder than it has to be, especially when there are tools to be used for just about every kind of spec. So this fight here, you are able to take on that sword guy on his own, and the other two will back up. It looks as though the other two will approach you immediately afterwards. If you go to engage one of them, though, the other will fall back. So that's kind of important to know. Otherwise, if you back up, they both will pursue you. We don't need to worry about that guy right now. If I can get, like, one summon here to help me out, like, that would be fun. Make things a little easier. Or I might just use the default that's in here. don't know if I'm just not seeing people within my soul memory range or whatever, but yeah, all I got is Mass Starless Clay Core here. But that's available to everybody, even if you're not online, so... which is kind of actually... it's been an interesting concern for me, at least for the past week, just because the server has been going... It's not the Dark Souls server, but it's the Steam community server has been going up and down, and that will prevent you from playing online. I totally forgot one of the switches. I just realized. The first one's the most important, but it is totally now possible for me to, like, fall off the side here. And if I do, that's, like, my own damn fault, because I literally talked about the switches there. And that's what I get for not taking out that one guy. So I just made this fight, I'm not gonna say a lot harder, but like the real threat here is not this guy's damage, but it's his pushback and him like one-hit killing you by knocking you off the edge. And since we're on patch number, I think 1.05 or 1.02, calibration's 1.05, the summoned phantoms have got a huge health and defense boost, so they are all super tanky, which in the case of Lucatiel's storyline, totally good thing, because that was really frustrating. Glencore just got defense, damn. Yeah, like I got no complaint, honestly. Will matter less on New Game Plus just because everything deals so much damn damage. That's the other nice thing about the Dragon Rider here. They can totally just be stunned out of by doing enough poise damage. I missed a ring earlier in the game because I feel like taking on the troll, but stun plate ring and some other good stuff, you'll be able to do stun lock them no problem. And that's our first boss, I guess. So this is important for us mainly because we want to get access to our faith spells, which
Are you
this
from
lady
these
here.
parts? My name is Lycia. I've
Lycia.
come to spread the art of miracles, a practice of which I am a disciple. I can see that you are well suited to comprehend their wondrous power. But the cost of it, that's for your heart to decide.
She's a fun character, let's put it like that, I guess. I have no idea how much attunement I have. I don't have enough faith, so I'm going to have to level that up a little bit before I can actually use Lightning Spear.
I'd heard awful rumors about this place, and I'm afraid they were all true. The king, gone. The earth, ravaged. The burden on the people weighs heavy. I fear that, by now, they may have scarce room in their hearts for miracles. Why did I come here? Well, do I need any other reason than to spread the gospel of miracles? My preceptor always said this art should be shared with the world, and such is my only wish.
She seems wonderful.
Sometimes I fight the urge to pack up and go back home. It is... well, I must do this. And being out here all alone only makes this a more fitting test of my fortitude. I expected this cathedral to be bustling, but there's hardly a soul to be found here. Without any goings-on, I'll have to move soon. To a place I could help the gullible by teaching the good word.
So, yeah, she seems to be just in it for the money, or
May
souls.
the power of miracles be with you. Offer your souls to the gods.
We'll go get to the next bonfire on the way to Demon's Wharf, just to get, or No Man's Wharf, just to get the Knight set. I don't know if I'm going to actually wear it, but this robe. I do like cape physics a lot. There are a lot of good sets of armors with capes in this game, which has been a nice addition since the last game, but and the equip load seems to be a little bit more generous, I feel like, this time around. The 70% and still being able to roll. You're dealing with the same enemies up down here as you were up there. So, same strategies occur, just try not to pull too many of them, make it a one-on-one fight as often as you can. and you'll be fine. No problem. The setting up there is actually like really gorgeous. Hyde's Tower of Flame is probably like one of the best looking areas in Dark Souls 2. It's a real shame that with the name Hyde's Tower of Flame, I assumed you were going to be able to actually go in that tower and, you know, fight up there or something. There's a possibility you might be doing that in the Covenant of Blue with their PvP arena, but I get the feeling that's more the actual cathedral and not so much the tower. If they did DLC or something, it'd be a great place. Like, technically we're in Hyde's Tower of Flame right now, but we're going down as opposed to, or we're just past it, actually. That's right. When we were talking to Lycia, that was part of, and fighting the boss, that was part of Hyde's Tower of Flame. But, the upper area, though, you don't ever go inside of it. Which, once again, seems like an oversight considering it's the name of the damn place, but, you know, far be it from me to, I mean, just me playing backseat game designer here. It's a pretty linear run, though, all things considered. This is just like, you know how to beat these knights, right? If anything, I would guess that this area probably serves more as a loading buffer, at least on the console versions, as a way to unload the Hyde's Tower of Flame and Cathedral areas, and instead load No Man's Wharf, which looks to be a pretty complex area in terms of lighting effects, geometry, all that stuff going on. And you can go look online for videos of like the No Man's Wharf disco glitch. See what happens like when the textures don't load. It's kind of trippy. And I'm looking for it sometimes. If you feel like you really want to get business done, that's when you start two-handing your... Oh. This is gonna hurt. Let's see, that's the way to No Man's Wharf, this is the way up to the armor. Let's get these two mixed up. It's nice that two-handing now is a little bit simpler, as it's just effectively doubling your strength, which is nice. They still don't provide any good explanation for that in-game. And dual wielding, originally I thought was double the stats required for the main hand and offhand dual wielding, but now it apparently is actually like 1.5 instead, which is closer to what two-handing strength was before. But once again, there's no good tutorial for that in game. You have to find out about all that outside of the game, which is really a shame. Let's see, and there's another NPC down here. He's got a storyline that used to be tougher to do. I guess we'll talk to her now.
I don't know you, and you don't know me. Things are better that way. You are an odd one. Normally, people keep a safe distance when they see this mask. But you... I'm called Lucatil, from the land of Mira to the far east, across the mountains. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful souls, and so I came to claim my share. But what a strange place. Even the ruins did not prepare me. You are an odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people, while you've made a point of engaging me. I can see that you are mid-journey. If you require assistance, I will help you. I come from Mira, a land of knights. My sword is always ready. Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed.
It's a bunch of good story stuff you figure out with her. She's a pretty cool NPC. like I said, all things considered, our character has a lot of good story implications. The widespreadness of the curse, for example, the land of Mira, as well as her sort of fatalistic kind of attitude. Find out more about that later. Best part about the PC version right now, and something I don't have to really do, is these super quick load times. In fact, I didn't even want to come here. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to go Majula first and see if I get my faith up to get lightning spears. I just have no idea what the attunement is for cleric. It's got to be at least 10 to have a heal miracle.
Bearer of the curse, seek souls.
Yeah, but I keep thinking like I need to listen to that for story reasons, but it's like I need to skip over it. Level up. So, 12 faith, we've got our work cut out for us here. I will probably just go ahead and eat some souls so that I can get it, just because I really like Lightning Spear a lot. I should have picked up a Mint Force. That would have been so much smarter as like a stopgap. But whatever, I'll just use these souls. If you've gotten a chance like to use it, I'll show it off eventually because it's just like part of the repertoire for a faith build. But Emit Force is one of those early miracles. I think I actually get one in No Man's Wharf. It's just good. Maybe I won't have enough. These are what, 400 apiece? 200, okay. Yeah, I am gonna be short. So yeah, I don't get to throw lightning bolts this episode, but definitely will next. So, I'm running these probably about an hour apiece. I'm gonna go back to the forest. I'm gonna go unlock the shortcut. Yeah, but especially the fact that you gotta go back to Majula, just, I feel like the PC version is worth the money alone, just because just those load times are so good if you want to just modify your levels and whatnot, and it looks better. It's smoother. YouTube's gonna compress this video down to 30 frames a second, but it plays at 60. And the requirements are not super high either, which is nice. I mean, characteristic of a last generation title. But there you go. Yeah, probably this zone gets so much easier second time around, just since you know all these people on the ground are just waiting to jump you. I'm gonna put this down in hopes that I get summoned to help fight the last giant. Granted, if he sweeps me, I will probably be one hit, but getting more smooth and silky stones is nice, getting more souls is nice. So, yeah, why not? Takes care of him. You can take this one slow if you want up here, or you can just sort of dash. Head this way, open up potential for another Estus Flask. Just gotta dodge some archers. Very few old random knickknacks here and there. And then you wait. I'm sure that gets plenty of players the first time. Oh, yep, we are totally gonna go try to fight the last giant. This will go either way, honestly. Like, the last giant is not what I would call super difficult, but he does demand some amount of, like, competence, I guess, is the way to put it. Which is easy to mess up. Just because, yeah, like, if he hits you, it just will probably knock you out. If he takes out the host, well, there's your two helpers right there. Where is the host? No idea. I think I have voice chat turned on. I have no idea if people can hear me or not. Don't know if anybody else does either. There's the host. This is his first time with the boss, apparently, and he just wants to see the cinema, so that's cool. We'll be skipping past this since this will be our look at the boss because we get to do it ourselves. We all look pretty close range-ish, so that's gonna go. I don't know. Give it like 50-50. Give me a caster or something. I'm way more confident. Does not get fallen on. Oh. I am so glad they let you lock onto the feet. Off more than half the health of one of our people there. I'm kind of worried about the back jump, honestly. Like, that has knocked me out completely in one go. And he's already on, taking his arm here, so that's good. Are we dancing? We're dancing. We kind of lucked out there that our host did not die from getting stomped on. I'm gonna get this. No, no, no. That will be enough actually for me to shoot some lightning bolts. How far did I get? Because life gem, why not? For the risk of running over, but you know what? Why not? We will talk to this guy.
I'm sorry. I was just daydreaming, I think. My name is Kale. I'm a traveler, like yourself. I'm navigating the continent to create a map. Why cartography, you ask? Well, that's a good question. When I first came to this forsaken land, it was... a curse? Something about a curse? How embarrassing. I seem to have lost my focus. But I do know one thing for certain. I have always been very fond of maps. I came to this land some time ago. Drangleic, the Lost Kingdom. It sounded so romantic. Have you seen Majula? Oh, there's a rather spacious mansion there. I made it my temporary home. Well, as something of a squatter, I'm afraid. Inside the mansion, I found a strange map, like none I'd ever seen. I believe that it's a map of Drangleic. Now I'm traveling the land to prove it. Yes. Yes, that's it. That's why I came to the kingdom. Wait. No. That wasn't it. Then what? I don't seem to recall.
Seems to be cursed, like the rest of us here, and seems to definitely be getting some confused memories here.
Were you looking for that map? Wonderful. Then you're fascinated by maps, just like me. Shame on you. You should have told me before. Here, take this. A key to the mansion.
That's the important thing.
What a joy to meet a kindred spirit out here.
Anyways, we'll get this item. I guess it'd be nice. I almost never use herbs myself. I should probably be using them more. Just gonna go back to the bonfire. And, because we hadn't made it that far. I mean, technically I was like 2 minutes, I guess, from unlocking that shortcut, but I wanted to go ahead and go back, put that last point in, and get my lightning bolts, just because I like them so much. Yeah, they do really, really good damage.
There seems less.
Pretty stringent requirements, all things considered. should probably just
Less-
go ahead and put the other point into something here. Slightly faster cast speed, and eventually we'll get another slot. Kind of a waste, I guess. But whatever. Let's get those there. Oh, right. Okay, since we're here. Talking to him, Kale, get into the house and get yourself some goodies. We are not nearly overweight yet, so yeah, there we go. Night set's quite good. Has really good poise this time around. Kind of an even split this time between the elite night set and the regular. Elite's gonna have slightly higher defenses and weight, whereas the regular night set has more poise. So pick which one you like. The fact you get this one for free is nice, but they're both really solid in terms of upgrading. That red night set that you get though from Kale later, I know a lot of people like it. See it a lot playing online. But yeah, some good things here, like the Titanite Shard to yeah, we didn't buy Leningrass Key yet. I guess we will do that later. Like I was talking about this being a Dex Faith build, but we'll see how that turns out. So yeah, here's the thing that was creeping around in the mansion. Skeletons also take extra damage from strike weapons. So once again, starting with the mace, super nice. Effigy is great. There are pieces of the Lord Vessel. There is an Estus Flash Shard. So either that is an Easter egg or it is some huge monumental story thing. I don't know nearly enough about this mansion, honestly. And the Soul Vessel, so it seems like that's kind of a hint between the two things there. I'm not saying that the Soul Vessel actually has anything to do with the Lord Vessel, other than the fact that they both have the name Wessel in them. And here is the stone map that Kale's talking about. There's a lot of bloodstains, so people that don't know about bonfire aesthetics, you use those, it basically takes an area to New Game Plus. You do it from Majula, it'll take this area to New Game Plus. Every time you add a plus for this area, you add another skeleton down there. Which is consequently another easy way to get more soul vessels. So yeah, probably the main reason most people are dying here is because they are fighting a ton of skeletons. I seem to have activated the piglets. Anyways, yeah, I'm definitely either running over time or getting close to it, so we're going to go back to the bonfire, we're going to go unlock the shortcut, like I keep saying we're going to do. Honestly, it kind of almost backfires a little bit, though, with the way that loading screens are done in these games. You don't even have enough time to read all the tooltips sometimes. Small price to pay, though, in my opinion. Bad lock on. Sneaking up, sneaking up. There we go. Tons and tons of snipers, like, out there, along with the guy who will follow you up and even to buy the firebomb. Just run up, don't worry about them. Get these guys instead. If you don't have a firebomb, you can use one. You can use this guy up here. He will try to hit you with them. If you want to play it safe, just do that instead. Somebody sneaking up on me. Somebody is sneaking up on me. Swing and a miss. There we go. There is a mine shaft. It is blocked here. I don't think this is anything. It would be nice if it was. I've not tried, like... Epic name, bro. I will bring him up almost every episode because I watch all this stuff and there's lots of good info. If you should be watching anybody's channel, it definitely should be him if you're big into Dark Souls. Let's talk about like wall clipping through. How did I get this Oh, right, from down there. I totally forgot to turn that in. When he was, like, writing the strategy guide stuff. I didn't hear about anything that is behind there. There seems like lots of things that could be used in terms of, like, DLC for opening up areas. I'm not saying that that's going to be, but if you wanted to, make a little bit more sense than just opening a portal in time. But I digress. Let's talk to Melintia again. Get the key to Leningrass so we can upgrade some stuff. I might just upgrade this mace. And we're gonna call it. Hopefully all the audio recorded just fine. We're gonna try to get this up on YouTube. Hopefully turn this into a regular thing over the summer. So yeah, thanks for watching.